Hi guys, today is May 21st, 2020, and futures are pointing to a lower open as weekly jobless claims came in at 2.43 million versus 2.4 million expected. But major news was yesterday, in my opinion, when Senate passed the bill for foreign entities to recertify or certify according to American accounting standards to be listed on American exchanges. And that could hurt some Chinese companies actually. So some of them could be delisted. And in this bill, they also mentioned that the foreign entity could not be controlled by the government. So a lot of Chinese companies were sold off yesterday and on these news, and I think some of them will be fine, like stocks like Baba and I think Baidu, but others may have tough times to certify according to U.S. standards. So let's jump to SPY ETF for S&P 500, and I still have this drawing of the ascending triangle, and I think the ascending triangle is still intact, and looks like SPY is still going higher, even though it's opening lower, but I think it still may go higher. Because there is a lot of liquidity out there, and Fed is supporting the action, and federal government is trying to issue another $3 trillion in support package. So I think S&P may still go higher. Okay, let's jump to corporate news. Target, TGT. Okay, Target actually reported yesterday 59 cents versus 40 cents expected. Revenue beat. Comparable store sales rose to 10.8% versus 7.5% increase expected. But the stock actually dropped yesterday because it came in too hot. I thought it was just too hot pre-earnings report. But I think if it drops a little bit, like in a 118 area, I would be a buyer of Target. Actually, I actually like the report. It was a pretty good report, and in my opinion, it's a very strong buy on Target if it drops a little bit. Okay, so Lowe's also came in hot into this report, but they reported even stronger numbers than Target. They reported $1.77 versus the $1.32. And revenue beat. Comparable store sales rose 11.2% versus 3.3% expected. But they withdrew guidance. But they, like I said, they also came in a little bit hot, and they're up pre-market a little bit. And I think it's a much better buy than Target, in my opinion. But there's still a little bit of a gap here that it needs to fill. But in general, I think it's a compelling buy, in my opinion. Okay, so let's jump to the next company, which is MCK. McKesson. McKesson is a drug distributor, and they came in 17 cents above estimates. Revenue beat. Full year forecast, though short of expectations. And McKesson is a very good company to own, actually, in this environment. Drug distributor, and I think if it drops today on these on the overall market drop, I think it's a pretty compelling buy, in my opinion. Okay, UAL. United Airlines, and United Airlines announced a partnership with Clorox and Cleveland Clinic to put guidelines and procedures in place for cleaning. Okay, so this company is higher pre-market, and actually I'm not that bearish on airlines as many people are, and I actually will have a new video coming up tomorrow, sometime in the afternoon, about the airlines, and I will also mention Boeing on that video. And check it out. It's going to be an interesting video, and I'm going to discuss what's keeping the airlines down, and the 4 reasons actually the investors are shying away from the airlines and what could happen. I also mentioned my favorite airline stocks. So, but in general, UAL is going higher, but I'm not as bearish. It depends on what stand you take. I mean, short term I could be bearish, but long term it could be a possibility. Okay, so next company I wanted to discuss is CVS. CVS said that it returned 43.3 million it received from the CARES Act Provider Relief Fund, and the company certainly don't need it. And I think CVS represents to me a very good technical setup to go higher. Actually, another ascending triangle, in my opinion. But so if CVS drops, it could be a good opportunity to get into the stock. Okay, so let's jump to Moderna. Moderna actually rallied 20% higher on Monday after announcing that successful phase 1 trials data only to drop 10% the next day because a lot of people started to question their data, and basically they said that they injected 45 individuals with their vaccine, and 8 of them developed antibodies, and they're still waiting for antibodies to come in on the other participants. But I thought that they actually announced that, and I don't know why people didn't read their announcement. They announced what they found, and for some reason people didn't like it the next day. But to tell the truth, it was very overbought. I mean, it was RSI like 86, and I thought it's gonna drop sooner or later. So, I like Moderna, but not at these prices. But I'd like it to drop into at least 60s area to buy Moderna. But in general, Moderna is a pretty good stock and a pretty good company, and gets a lot of government findings. And I think it could be a compelling buy to me in the 60s area. Okay, so INO. Inovio Pharmaceuticals. Inovio jumped over 8% yesterday after announcing positive data from their preclinical studies on mice and guinea pigs. And actually, benchmark initiated coverage today was the buy rating of and a price target of 28. Actually, it's a much better setup than Moderna for Inovio. And by the way, guys, congratulations to everyone who followed my videos and listened to me recommending those stocks, Inovio and Moderna. I mean, they rose a lot. I mean, Moderna, I mean, I can't even imagine how much, what percentage they gained recently since the last time. For several months I was recommending them, and Inovio the same thing. And another company that I was recommending, one of my 3 horses is Vir Biotechnologies, is also trading pretty high, and I think it can actually go higher because they reported previously that they identified 2 clinical development candidates based on the S309 antibody, and they said that the S309 entirely covers the family of SARS and COVID viruses, and they're working in collaboration with GlaxoSmithKline. So the Vir is also can go higher, and like I mentioned, the Inovio may also go higher. Okay, so that's that. Okay, LK. Luckin Coffee. Luckin Coffee is a better company. Is started trading yesterday. Actually, Nasdaq sent notice to this company about the delisting shares of the exchange. And I mean, you know about the Luckin Coffee. I mean, I'm sure you know about the Luckin Coffee. I have a video on my channel about the Luckin Coffee, and it's better by fraud, and it's a difficult company to own, in my opinion. But I understand the owners of the company. The shareholders of the company. They don't want to sell at these prices, and they're hoping for the best. And by the way, Luckin Coffee actually submitted a request for a hearing by a Nasdaq panel that's going to happen in 30 to 45 days. So, and we'll continue to trade until then. But we don't know the outcome of this hearing. And tell the truth, I mean, if I'm a new shareholder, I would definitely not get into the stock. There are so many good companies to buy in this environment, and why would you want to be in Luckin Coffee when it can be when you can be completely wiped out. So Luckin Coffee is a no-go in my opinion. Okay, so NAT, Nordic American Tankers. A lot of people ask me about the oil tankers, and I have a number of videos on my channel about the oil tankers. By the way, check it out. And they reported pretty good numbers on Monday, and yesterday they upped the next dividend by to 20 cents. That's good news because previously they were paying like 14 cents. And I think it's a compelling buy, in my opinion. I think it's a pretty good buy in this area. 475, where it's opening pre-market, I think it's a decent buy. And another company that's oil tanker reported, Frontline Ltd, also reported really good numbers. Raised the dividend to 70 cents, and in my opinion also a very good buy in this area. Like, so it's trading what, 793, it's pre-market 807 still. I think it's a buy. BMY. Okay, so BMY was trading lower yesterday, and a lot of people were asking me what's going on and why it's trading lower, but I didn't see any news on the company. I think it's just somebody has decided to sell. So I think you can use it as a pretty good buying opportunity on this drop, in my opinion. BMY is a very strong company with a lot of patents, a lot of things going right for them, solid balance sheet. So I think it's a buy, in my opinion. Okay, AstraZeneca, stock symbol AZN. Said that they received 1 billion in government funding to develop a vaccine from Oxford University. So this company just keeps going higher. I mean, I was hoping to buy it lower, but it just keeps going higher. I mean, there's no stopping this company. Okay, so it's opening higher pre-market, like $2 higher, and I mean, it's too high for me to get in, but I think it's still going higher. So maybe if you still want to be in a company, wait for the open and come for this stock to come down a little bit and then buy it. Okay, so Macys. Macys issued a report, and they issued the Q1 sales warning, and says that most stores will reopen in June. And they said that the stores that are open experiencing 50% drop in traffic, obviously. So I wouldn't be in Macys in this environment. I mean, you don't know if this company is going to survive, in my opinion. So this is not a good time to be in Macys, even though it's trading very high. If you want to be in a retailer, I would rather be in Best Buy, even though Best Buy is trading a lower pre-market. They reported earnings that came in at 67 cents versus 44 cents expected. Revenue also above forecast, and comparable stores sales fell 5.3% versus 10% drop expected. But I like the numbers from Best Buy, and I think if it drops in the mid 70s area, I think this could be a good buy, in my opinion. Okay, SLB, Schlumberger. Schlumberger reported that they will reshuffle its top executives and will consolidate its 17 product lines in 4 divisions. Actually, what I noticed about these oil companies is they present a very good technical setup. So for those of you with the good risk appetite and not afraid to go in, I mean, some oil companies presenting really good technical setup, like for example SLB and ConocoPhillips and PSX, which is Phillips 66. It's a refiner and also a producer, and CVX, and even Oxy. Occidental Petroleum, they also present a pretty good technical setup, so I think they may have a pretty good run in them, actually. I'm expecting them to run a little bit. I mean, I'm not a big fan of oil producers, but I mean, you can't argue with the facts. They present a pretty good technical setup at this point. Okay, BJ reported pretty good numbers, came in with almost double EPS, 69 cents versus 37 cents expected. Revenue also above estimates. Comparable stores jumped 27%. Really good numbers from BJ Wholesale Club, and I think the stock is still going higher, and I think it will be pretty good, by my opinion, on these numbers. And the last one I'll give you is the kind of a spec ADMA. Okay, so ADMA Biologics, they rose a little bit pre-market after a company said that it started collection of COVID-19 plasma from recovered patients. So that could be a pretty good spec play, in my opinion. Okay, so the technical setup is looking good for this, and for those of you who who is looking for like a risky place but high reward place, that could be it. ADMA. So that's it, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, click the like button, and actually subscribe to my Patreon account where you can see all my trades and my portfolio. And I'll see you Monday, or actually Friday, which is tomorrow, for the airlines video.